Good evening guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to continue with the other nature journal. I have off camera put textile on the back and sewn around these papers. I did put some medium on them yesterday, so they would be a bit more strong than just paper. But you can see they are still matte and papery, so they don't have this kind of coat that feels unnatural. So I have been playing around with this label that I made with metal and resin, copper plate, and then I had resin and gold and an old text, and this is a dried flower, and then I have done some metal pattern around it. So that's one option. And then I also have this dragonfly that is cute, that also could go onto the cover. But first I'm going to use more of my textile that is eco dyed with this leaf pattern on. So I have a couple of these that I thought I could maybe cut out and do some embroidery and put them onto this cover. So I think I will start there, and then we will try to figure out what we will put on, if we will choose the label or the dragonfly. You can actually help me with that. Write something in the description box and down below if you think that it's this we should have, or if we maybe should have dragonfly and some leaves. I think it will be too much if we have this one and the dragonfly. I also have another option, and I have this wooden piece that we also could use as a label. So maybe that one and the dragonfly could work. Think about it and give me a hint on what you would like to see. So I'm going to put this down with a little bit of glue so they stay in place while I do the embroidery. I think I will put them somewhere there, with the big one in the bottom and the other one on top. Kind of overlapping a little bit. Then I'm just roughly going to embroidery on these so they stay in place. So let's start with that, and then we can continue. So I have prepared two different colors of thread. Just have to check which one that the darker one will be the best. So then the next question is, should we go along the edge or should we roughly put it down like this? It's cute, both things. I guess I have to take that decision myself. Cutting off some excess textile while I'm pondering about that. I hope you have a nice week. It's already Tuesday, so I don't really know where the days is disappearing. But I guess it's work, orders that will be packed, and some craft, and Nico of course. And then often the day is gone. Now I can't decide. But I can start with the holes that will go on the inside. And if I then want to do them the other way, I can add that later. So I'm just making holes along the edge of the leaf, so I can so it looks like I have sewn it down, or I have sewn it down, but I have glued it too. So I find it easier to do like this. I'm not a good embroiderist. I don't know what it's called. Crafter, let's say that instead. I'm going to do some speed up the recording, so you don't need to see me do all the holes and all the embroidery. So I'm going to start, and then I'm going to stop the recording and get back to you when I have done this. It's not so fun to see me do all of the stitching. I'm not doing this quickly, so it takes me a while to get this done. But you can see the beginning. I'm not sure. Was this boring? Okay, I will do the embroidery around these leaves, and then I will show you the result. So the leaves are embroidered down, and I decided to do some French knots above them as a little extra decoration. So I'm not going to do anything more on this one until we have decided what to do. But we can put the one that are going on the back. I think I want it that way with the white down there. So let's glue that down. So we can leave that for now, and we can go back and check later if it needs some more glue. I saw right away that the corner needed it. I'm not sure if this is just the paper layer that is okay. The back of the cover is in place. And this will be the front. And then we will have a piece of textile on the back when we have sewn in the signatures. So on the inside, I want to have a couple of top spots or pockets to put some extra things in. And I did some faux printing, and I thought I could use those and maybe do some watercolor painting on them. And faux printing is, or faux eco dyeing. I'm taking fresh leaves and put them between two pieces of paper, and then I'm running it through my Big Shot, and then you get a pattern from different plants. It's not so fun, we have all this white around, so that's why I'm thinking about using the watercolor. But I will show you how I do this. I will just put in a little quick recording. So if you don't want to see how this is done, you can jump forward a few minutes and then come back and look at me painting. I'm trying the fake eco dyeing today. I'm going to use these fresh leaves and run them through my Big Shot. I have like right here, and then I hopefully will get a nice print so I can watercolor it later and use it in my journals. So I will just arrange these two and run them through my Big Shot a couple of times, and then I will be back and show you the result. So I did 3 times back and forward, and now we can take this off so we can see the result. To try this, to open this, see what we have. Wow, look at this. So nice. Every little part of the leaf is printed on the other side. So let's take this off and see if we have the same on this side. So this is a fun way to do some kind of eco dyeing without any water and splash, like that. Take it to go to a better light. This was on my sink. So this is how it looks. Isn't that amazing and so easy? Really, really beautiful print to use in the journals. That will go in my next nature journal. So hope that gave you an idea, and you can try to do some beautiful prints. To play with. Thank you for watching, and I will see you a bit later when I'm going to continue with the journal. Bye for now. Okay. I want to do some more color on these so they aren't so boring. And this is not watercolor paper. This is just ordinary, a bit heavier paper. So they will curl up, but I'm going to iron them when they have dried a bit, so we don't need to worry about that. I want them a bit more rough on the edges. I have just torn those edges, and then I'm going to do like this on the other edge. More like nature style. Not so neat. I'm going to rip a little bit in the corners. And then I'm just using my scissors to distress them a bit. I will put thin textile on the back of these two when I have painted and decorated them. So then I'm going to sew around this so it will be sturdy and a nice pocket to use. So I don't want to use just paper in case it would rip. I did this kind of printing years ago, and then I have kind of forgot it. And then I saw Sasibo doing kind of the same, and then I realized I had forgot about it. I also used some rust water. I have put a lot of rusty things into a jar of water and left it for, I think, a week. And then I just dipped the leaves into the rust water and put them on the paper. that will give you kind of an orange color, and I did not like the yellowish orange combination, so I liked the black part of it, just the leaf that went black, but I didn't like the color around it. Okay, I think that's a bit better. So I'm just going to use my travel kit with watercolor. We don't need so much, mostly a bit green. So maybe some brown. Nothing red and nothing yellow. So the brown maybe, and then the green and the blue. So I think I will try using my watercolor brush. Water brush, maybe I should say. Try to do a natural green. A little bit darker, I think. See? It's another green, but it was a little bit more. Making two different. Two different green. So then I'm just going to play and put on some water and let it sink in. The original water color paper is much more absorbent, and you can work on it a bit, but you need to be so much more quick when you use ordinary paper. So that's why I'm giving it some water first, so it won't just quickly soak up all the color and make fun patterns that I don't want. Start with a thin layer, and if you then feel like you want it darker, you can put another layer on instead of using too much color to begin with. This is just some herb I just picked while I was out with Nico, so I can't give you the name. It was something green and beautiful, so I just took it with me so I could give it some pattern too. I'm just giving this some brown. Don't want to cover up the beautiful pattern of the herb, but a little bit more. Then I'm just taking clear water and put that around on the white area. Going to tone the white down a little bit. Blending a brown grayish tone, just kind of put on the edge so we get a little bit more tone down of the white. You can use this distress ink also if you like. That work too. Something like that. Going to do the same with this one. I'm going to speed that up so you don't need to see me do every little detail on that one. I'm doing the same thing, put on water first and then some color and tone down the white. My paintings are dry and ironed, so they are a bit more flat. I want to have some textile to give them more strength, and maybe I can do some more embroidery on them. So I'm using eco-dyed cheesecloth that will go on the back of these. It also gave it some nice look. So leave that to dry. Do the same thing with the other one. We will just cut off the excess when they have dried a little bit so I can touch them. I want it to stick out a little bit so we can see it, but not too much. A bit rough, but not too rough, if you know what I mean. Just a little sneak peek how it looks. I think that will be fun. Maybe I should use the fine liner and just do a little doodling, but I'm not sure. I'm afraid I will ruin them. A little bit more ink on the edges. Like that. So I will leave these to dry and then sew around them so the cheesecloth will stay in place, so they won't be in the way when we are using the pockets. So I think I will stop there for tonight so these can dry properly and I can sew them, and then we can continue with the cover and maybe pull out some pages for the signatures next time. So I hope you got some fun idea and some inspiration, and we will continue with embroidery, sewing, gluing and painting next time. Thank you so much for following me. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not a follower, I would appreciate that. We will continue to do fun things and explore different things to use in our journals. So have a nice evening, and until next time, bye bye from Sweden.